Hey guys, what's going on? I just wanted to do a quick tutorial here for those of you who are taking care of loved ones, particularly if you're taking care of elderly or someone who is disabled and unable to take care of themselves. There's a lot of help that they require, a lot of things that you end up having to do for them. And so this video is just to kind of give just some tips in their getting ready process, their day-to-day maintaining process. This is not like, doing appointments or anything like that. It's just to kind of help you get them dressed and fed in an easier manner for you. So I've been taking care of my mother-in-law now for over 2 years, my husband and I. And we have not by any chance become professional at it, but I have figured out a few things that kind of help me make it easier each day. So I'm going to share that with you. No, Junior, stop. Junior, leave that alone. So one of the things that I have to face, one of my challenges when I am dealing with my mother-in-law is I also have two little kids. And since I'm a stay-at-home mom, it's just me. So I kind of have to navigate between all of them at the same time. I cannot allow my children in the room with her because, they eat stuff and they get into everything. And when you're taking care of an elderly person, you'll realize that, sometimes they have accidents on themselves. And they mess up your bedding, they mess up your floors and stuff. And rather than harassing them about that, just keep your kids, separate from that if you have little ones. Now, I know that they like to see their grandparents and different things like that. Our kids do like to spend time with the elderly, so do not keep them from that. Let them see their grandma and different things. What I have to do in our case, stop, Junior, is I have to hold them and take them in there. And I just let them stand and, I just stand there and let them talk to her for a little while. And then, we come on out. But don't let your kids go into those rooms. And that's just me trying to, keep them safe. That's just the mother in me. I won't put my mother-in-law on camera because she's usually just in night clothes and stuff like that. So for her privacy, I'm going to keep her off of the screen, but you will be able to hear me. I will be giving tips and let's get in there. So my morning process consists of getting her medicated, bathed, dressed in some fresh clothing, get her bed changed because she usually has accidents. Getting her bed changed and different things like that. And that is the start of the day. Once I finish that routine, she's usually okay till midday when she gets medicated again, and then evening when she gets medicated again. And those and then we do meals there. But this is the biggest portion of the day, so I wanted to share some tips to help you get through your battle. Now I'm going to be honest. This was a little hard. It wasn't at all easy for me to take on this task, but this is one of the ways in which I support my husband. And ladies, if you got somebody that is, taking care of you, or, you're just a partner, you might not be doing it all, but you're looking for a way to take care of him. If, their parents get sick and you guys have the space and you have the ability and you don't want to put your people away, into a home, then step up. And this is one way that you can do that and serve and give back. So here we go. Morning. I'm doing a tutorial. I'm not going to put you on camera, but is it okay if I just discuss a few things on the camera so that I can help other people who may be in this situation of trying to take care of loved ones? Okay, let me make sure you're not really on screen there. Okay. Okay. What I'm going to do is face it back this way, guys, because getting ready to sit her up. So I don't want her to be exposed on screen. Um, what I suggest doing is if you have to bathe and different things like that, your loved one, and they're not able to make it to the tub, is to get one of these. So a dish pan, you can get them in all kinds of sizes, and it serves different purposes. You can bathe them, using this. It doesn't get them as clean as getting in the tub, but if you're doing it on a regular basis, then you should be able to keep them clean, keep their odors down, and help them stay fresh. So give me just a second. Let me go get her some bath water, and I'll be right back. Where you going? Now, lugging these bathtubs, these little dish pans, they can get heavy. So you don't have to fill them up when you're preparing your bath water. You just want to make sure that you keep them clean, clean them out regularly, and when you're putting in your water, don't overfill it. Keep it where you can lift it, because you're going to be lifting this joker for the most part, at least maybe 3 times during your process. So you don't want it to be too heavy. What I'm doing now is I have bed pads. They look like this. I take out about 3 of them. That way you can bathe them and keep your bed dry while you're bathing them. And you can put it down underneath them to keep them in the bed dry. I also unfold one of these and kind of refold it in a different position to put it inside of the underwear, the undergarments, to add a little extra protection. If they're wearing adult diapers, you can do the same thing and get these into the adult diapers as well. It adds a little extra protection, and I'll show you how I fold those a little later. So I'm getting my pads together right now. I suggest that if you're going to be taking care of a loved one, that you develop yourself a routine as quickly as you can, so that it makes it a little easier on you. You know how to get in, do what you need to do, and get out. The time it take me and the time it take my husband do 2 different things on it, Shirley. It take Corey a little time to get it all worked out, but that's just because I lay all my stuff out in advance. Alrighty, let's see here. So I have all my things. I'm just laying them out. I suggest you keep your stuff organized. If you have medications that are being distributed, your loved one has to receive medicines, make sure that you inform them of what they're supposed to be getting, like how many pills. I let Shirley know, you got this many pink pills, you got this many blue ones, you got a white one, you have in total this many pills, so that if you're ever unable to take care of them and somebody else is trying to fill in, they're not completely clueless about what they're receiving, and they can kind of help the person that's helping you help them. Plus, the old people, even though they might have conditions, they pay attention and they know, what's going on. They're not going to let you give them nothing that they know they ain't supposed to have. So it's best that you communicate with them anyway and just let them know what they're taking, what you're giving them, and things like that. If you have medications that a person is taking that could possibly make them sick, or they may possibly have experienced pain and the medications are for that, but they are PRN, which means that you only give them to them as needed, then ask. So usually I ask Charlene, is she having any pain, is she feeling nauseated or anything like that. Um, and usually that's no. You need anything today for nausea or pain? No. Okay. All right. One of the things that I'm doing that makes it a little easier for me, when they have medications, if you have a person that is having problems with feedings, find something soft that you can include their medication into, and soft and liquidy. Now, be careful because certain things can dissolve the pill, so you have to make sure that you're giving it to them quickly. So, Charlene prefers applesauce. I suggest that you ask your loved one what do they prefer to eat, what's easy for them. They know what they like and what they don't like, and what is hard to eat and what's easy to swallow and different things like that. So just talk to them and ask them. Stay very active in how you're trying to provide care for them. I suggest doing the medication and food before you get them bathed and stuff, because they could have, another accident while if you've already cleaned them and then you're feeding them and a big glob of food fall on them, you'll have to start over getting them situated. So I suggest feeding them first and then bathing them. When you're giving medications, if they have difficulty swallowing, finding things like pudding, yogurt, applesauce, even snack cakes, just something that's not water, or because when you're taking water, if that pill gets stuck, it never actually washes down. But if it's being pushed back with food, something that's a little more solid, not anything that needs to be chewed, of course, but just like I said, applesauce or yogurt or things like that, just so that it can make getting their medications in easier. I suggest that you find some options that they like to eat, that you can stick the medication in for them, and they can swallow it back. And then after you feed them, then you can give them, some water and stuff to wash it all down. But in my opinion, if they have difficulty swallowing the food or swallowing the pills, then it's best to do them together. So I'm just about done feeding here with the medication. We are at the point in our particular process where Charlene's appetite is no longer really there, so we're just on soft stuff now. But if your loved one is still eating regularly, then they may not have the difficulty with their pills, and you don't have to go through this process. So this isn't something that's necessarily relevant to you, but it could be beneficial once you hit that point in your process where your loved one is no longer taking in solid foods. What I will suggest, though, is to just try something. When my mom lost her appetite, she didn't want anything, and her process declined pretty quickly once she stopped eating. But even if they're not getting a lot, if they're able to eat something, then keep it coming in to them, and keep helping them gain some nutrients. Like I was explaining to my mother-in-law, I don't want her to just not get anything, although some people say that prolongs the process. But I'm just of the mindset I'd rather have my loved one as long as I can. I did mention that to my mother-in-law, though, and at the time where she comes to the decision of, whatever, then I have to honor her wishes. But I'm not personally withholding food from her. When you're doing your bathing process, I usually start with wiping their face while they're still laying down. So that before you start soaping up your rag and everything, their face will already be clean and situated and ready to go. Alrighty, now I'm going to get her out of the bed. some people are able to work with you and help you get them out of the bed. Some aren't. And then some of them have their days, like my mother-in-law. Charlene, what kind of day are you having today? You able to help work with me and get you up and get washed up?
No.
Not really? Okay. So today is one of those days she doesn't have the strength really to go through all of that at this time. So you could just check back at a later time to see how they're feeling, and assist them with that bathing procedure then. I just suggest that you do try to do it and keep them clean. Once they become stationary, it's really, really easy to develop bed sores, especially if they're having accidents. So you do want to try to clean them and get them dry as much as possible. I'll be back in here, Charlene, a little later to check on you to see how you feeling and if you feel up to that. Okay.
Okay, what about something to drink?
You want some to finish this Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
Okay. So in our particular situation, feeding is one-on-one. It's very personal at this point. She doesn't do that on her own anymore. So I suggest that if you're going to, put yourself out there to do this, that you pray that God gives you patience and that he gives you grace, because it's not easy dealing with a sick loved one and stuff, because we get tied up in our schedules of what we have to do, and it requires them to be waited on, almost hand and foot. I'm going to sit you up, Charlene. All right. So when I'm sitting her up, I just reach behind her neck and lift her, brace her head and back. And then I tuck her pillows as low into her back as I can, so that she's able to prop up and sit upright, because she's not able to do that on her own. And if your loved one is like that and you don't have a hospital bed, because I'm not gonna lie, they tell you, you should get them a hospital bed, and it does make it a little easier, but everybody's not able to get a hospital bed. And in our case, when she came to live with us, we had just gotten our new bedroom set back here, so we just use this. So you find ways to do what you got to do with what you got to work with. Just find a way to sit them up and make sure that you listen to them. Take the time to actually listen to them and try to be there for them. I think that was one of the things that is lacking in nursing in our healthcare system, is that they have the nurses stretched so thin and overworked, they can't actually provide the patient actual care of being able to be in there feeding them and doing what they require. So the patient just gives up because they can't eat, they can't feed themselves, they can't drink on their own, and nobody's helping them. So if you're taking care of your loved one, you don't want to put them through that, then make sure that you treat them better than what they can get in the hospital. Don't treat them the same way that a stranger would treat them. Because if you're going to do that, just go ahead and put them into some professional care so they can get the help they really need. Alrighty. So just a few tips that I will share just briefly with you. I didn't get a chance to do the walkthrough, so I guess I got to do another tutorial of the bathing. And so look for that video. But just off top, I just wanted to say, if you're dealing with, a loved one, if you're taking care of a relative, if someone is in your care that is disabled and they need your help, first of all, be encouraged. Okay? God got you. He's going to work it out. And I'm not saying that lightly, because I was struggling. Y'all hear me? I was struggling with this thing at first. But over time of me praying and seeking God and me saying, Lord, I don't want to mistreat her. I don't want the devil to have me bound with this situation. I don't want him stealing my joy. I don't want my peace to go away. So I was praying. I was fighting back with the devil, and the Lord showed me a way to make it happen. And now I go in and, about 10, 15 minutes, I'm back out, and I can go on with the rest of my day. And I'm going to let you do the same thing. So thanks for watching. I hope these tips were helpful. God bless you.